rooted, deeply 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 rooted.
Welcome, kings, queens, to the Deeply Rooted Podcast Show. Here is where reality meets wisdom and wisdom meets reality. First thing first, we got to give a big shout out to the big D.O.G. G.O.D.
Wait a minute.
for waking us all up this morning.
Yeah.
We don't need no church state on it. Churches everywhere, 2 or more people here. Amen.
Hey, that's what's up.
Right. Y'all tune in to the show today. Our topic today is, are you? Is this generation lost? Today on the show, we have Mr. Ahmad Washington. We also have Mr. Jeremy Davis. Yes. And they are definitely representing different community projects around here. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and I'll go along.
No, that's all good. No, we appreciate the opportunity to be on the show with you all. Anytime we get a chance to share some real talk about, serving young people, we want to jump at it because the conversations need to be had. So I represent quite a few organizations. I've been working with youth, man, for probably like 20 years now, maybe a little bit more. So I've been putting in a lot of work with the young people through Methodist Children's Home, as well as Moving Up, which is my organization where I do a lot of things with the schools, juvenile justice systems, group homes, and do trainings for teachers as well to be more impactful and influential in the lives of their kids. So those are some of the things that, in terms of my heartstring, which is Moving Up. And that's, things that we've been doing in the community, do a lot of positive music, positive media, to pour into them and to give them some life and some encouragement and some perspective on some of the things that they're going through.
Right. Amen.
Yeah.
You've been around for a long time. I've known you for many, many, many years.
Yeah.
But that still don't give you an exclusion on my show. So, Elijah, as a guest, I almost let him slide in. I introduced himself, but he went in. I'm going to need y'all to raise y'all right hands, please.
Wait
a
minute, first of all,
You gonna tell a story anyway. We need to make sure the guests tell the truth.
Okay.
All right, guests and everybody on the set. Y'all raise y'all right hands. Y'all promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
Man. God,
now we know you ain't been telling no stories about the organization and what you holding. So we gonna let it ride.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's so we can check a credential and the receipt.
Yeah.
So another thing we do on the show, because sometimes the conversation get deep, guys.
For sure.
And you might want to cut in where somebody say something, because sometimes it's hard to hold on to what you need to say.
Yeah, straight up.
And the whole conversation go around, and it's done dotted from this person, that person, that person. You like, I still want to say this.
Yeah.
So the respectfully way that we cut in conversations here is we say, give me my flowers for a minute.
Yeah.
So you wave your flowers, you really need to cut in, okay?
Yeah.
Now y'all lucky today, Coach Quee is not here. Coach Quee, be safe on the road. We'll see you shortly for the next show. All right,
go.
But you pick your roles, and then when you need to say something to cut in, something you wave it, and that way we all don't overtalk each other. Okay. So our guests get to pick flowers first. We got the almost bloomed here.
Yeah.
You look like a little gnome. I don't know.
Yeah.
Y'all know it. I knew somebody was going to get a sunflower. Look at her face. It's still one here for you, sister. Here you go, my sister in Christ. There you go. Give it to her. But she have a seizure. And you know what? I picked the one that ain't bloom yet. I always get it. Nobody gets it. It doesn't look like a little scepter, a little crown.
Oh, no. I see.
Y'all respect this one is bad.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, y'all. Moving on. All right. So, Mr. Mod, I've had the pleasure of knowing you many years. Mr. Davis, I'm just now meeting you.
Yes.
But you came along with Mr. Mod, so I know you got some good soulful something for the community, for the adults, the children. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Jeremy Davis. I'm the founder of a program named Mentor Waco. We work with 6th through 12th grade students, just wrapping them around with support and education so they can live successful lives. Also on the Waco ISD School Board, representing District 1, so I help our community out in any way I can, especially our young people.
Amen. That's what's up. And I'm
Yeah,
glad to
bring
see
solid
my two
people,
big-
man.
But I'm happy to see my two brothers up here. I'm
yeah.
not saying like
Yeah.
I'm for one for all.
Yeah,
you
no,
understand
for
what I'm
sure,
saying?
for sure, for
But
sure.
it is such an honor
Yeah.
to have such strong men. I know you've been doing a long time,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I can brag on him all day, but I gotta pick on you a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
We'll get back around here.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah, so okay. Tell us one of the latest things that you've done with just any group that you choose to do. What's something that's coming up and what can we expect?
Yeah, what I'm really proud of is, in Mentor Waco, we got a group of young men who they've been leading a gardening club in East Waco. They won a statewide competition for their garden, so we're really proud of that. We got some young ladies who just began beauty club, and they're learning how to do everything from eyelashes to makeup and etc. So, we're just teaching our kids tangible skills that they can use to put some money in their pockets, but also each one teach one. We got to bring them up and kind of do the things that many of us talk about, but we got to put action to those things we talk about.
Be about it. Okay.
Yeah.
So one way was so they growing some fruits that we can eat.
Yeah, that vegetables. So they didn't grow everything from cabbage to squash to different kind of lettuce. They even had a pumpkin patch during that season, so they're getting ready to start back up on Garrison, right across the street from the old YMCA.
Yeah, that's kind of where I think Miss K was over in that area,
Yes,
right, Miss Bell?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
and I was like, yeah, that area should still be used.
Yeah.
And we need that. Make sure they growing stuff with seeds.
For sure.
Because they taking that away.
Yeah.
And that is great because this generation, and probably some back, it's a couple generations that's lost. But need to know how important that is, to eat healthy, and to grow stuff like that because a lot of kids don't like vegetables. Have y'all noticed that?
Yeah, straight
And
up.
it's like, I mean, I know you can not like one out of the many,
Yeah.
but not like none.
Yeah.
I think that's strange. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
different. Yeah.
And I think it's important for us to explore avenues that aren't traditional. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? We're talking about African American young men from quote unquote the hood that are gardening, who win in competitions with none of their competitors who look like them. So I think it's about just pushing them towards avenues that might not traditionally be popularized in our community, but they can thrive in anything they put their mind to.
Right.
Nah, real talk, man. Exposure is a powerful thing, bro. Like that's the thing. Is like some people don't move different because they ain't seen nothing different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's part of it too. With our young people is creating opportunities where they can see something different than what they grew up around.
Right.
Such as this, because some people's only dream is athletics or entertainment. You know what I'm saying? And it's so much more that we can be putting our mind to. There's so much greater historically that we've done. If you're looking up, through Black history, it's enough that we've done to show that we're capable of more than just those two things. But you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But we're making a difference. Every day, bro.
Thank y'all.
Yeah.
That's for, future children and even some that can look back and say, hey, I made a few mistakes. I might be 16, 17 years old. They still can come to y'all.
Yeah, straight up.
And the most beautiful thing about it is that we all know that computers are running mostly everything. It is detrimental that we have a hand skill that at least we know. You can know computers, but you need to know something else.
Yeah.
It is so important. God bless y'all for teaching these young men and women, or even adults, whoever it is, you got to teach something, a trade.
Yeah, for sure.
People don't understand the concept of a trade nowadays. It's not just a trade that I can trade some lyrics, or I can trade some clothes, or I can trade thoughts on how to do something more gangster. A trade is being able to do something in your hand to produce something that can feed and help multiple people, not just for yourself. That's a trade.
Real talk. And that's the thing too, is like at Methodist Home, we have just finished building a place where students can be licensed in welding as well as in what's the other thing, mechanical work, so like working on engines and stuff like that. And so like it's serious. You know what I'm saying? It's something that it can either get you a good launch pad for your adult life, and then whatever you kind of branch out from that you can do. So, you know what I'm saying, it's a lost art, but I think there are some people who are being intentional about bringing that stuff back, and I think it's going to make a difference to those kids who have an opportunity to do it.
Right.
So, for
Amen.
sure, real talk.
I agree with that, because when you think about, because I was going to say, if we don't teach them like where's the future headed. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's learning trades anymore. Nobody's trying to learn anything. Like I love seeing Mr. Elvis Brown with Brown Electricity. I remember he was telling me how his dad taught him electricity and he wanted to teach his son. I was so proud to see his son come work on the site when I got him. So we don't see that a lot. That's what we need to see more of. And we speak in the terms of that the world needs more love. We need more love and more hands-on physical love of showing someone something to use in the future. And it's not for today.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's the problem everybody's living for today.
Oh yeah.
So,
That's the next
being, well, you know, with this topic, it's really hard to have questions because y'all not in the, you know.
We out in the trenches.
Y'all survived it. Y'all not no little kids, so I'm gonna get some kids on the show.
That's me.
I'm gonna get some waiver signs. She a grown kid. We're gonna use her for, you know, to understand their dialect. But I really didn't have questions. Only thing is because, you know, I'm in the community and I see kids like the other day, neighbor kids, instead of letting them just play on the trampoline and that, we did gardening. And it's, you know, you said that today, so that made me feel really good. Like, okay, I did choose something constructive instead of trying to pay them with candy or just money. I was teaching them some things are more valuable that you got to learn an aspect of it because I taught them, I let them make their own plan. I said, choose one of my plants, and I went and bought seeds. Pick some seeds which y'all want to grow.
That's good.
We're going to try that.
That's good.
And then, you know, they helped me with my little garden bed, and I gave them stuff, and but all they wanted was some pickles. Which was cool, but one little girl, she chose cucumber seeds. But what got me was, y'all, how all the little other kids in the neighborhood, they saw us sitting on the porch and out there in the dirt. I'm used to playing with the kids anyway. But it was different yesterday. Them kids was running from everywhere. Can I help? And I'd never seen so many little kids happy to want to dig, stick a little plant in there. We even went to my pastor's house, which is next door, and he has a lot of the running Jews. Y'all know the little purple running Jews? Oh, they're so beautiful. They grow anywhere, though. They're invasive. We was picking some off his sidewalk. He said, y'all go and get them. And we took them, we put them in pots.
That's what's
but I have never done that. I didn't plan on doing it. But it was very, very fun. I felt like I'm teaching them something else more. Not only did they learn to work for something, they were saying, we work, and they other little kids, what y'all doing? Y'all want to play? You know how the kids got to report it. Juju them over there, JB's house. And they like, we working. And I'm just sitting there like, y'all can go play. They was like, no. But when all them kids, it ended up being like a total of maybe 15 kids.
That's real.
On my porch. Now my grandson was in trouble.
Oh Lord.
But it was funny letting him watch the screen door and me hang with the kids. See, I learned some other things too, because back again, this generation, y'all, if the younger kids, like the ones that are 5, are watching the ones that are 6 and 7, and they making crazy decisions, they doing it too. Because a lot of stuff, I'm like, where'd you learn that from? My friend, you know, he got 2 little ones. They shouldn't even be hanging together. They should be restricted. They should move them classrooms because they've been together from daycare on up. But then these are 3 boys that are being raised in 3 different homes. And so my grandson learned stuff from them. Now, I'm trying to teach my grandson stuff, teach him something positive, talk about Jesus. I even made up a song for him. You know what I'm saying? And even the daycare, they said, well, he don't cuss, but he do, and he just hang with them. I go in the room, they pointing at each other. So that's one of the reasons that I think that our generation is lost. He say, she say, monkey see, monkey do.
Man, I got to put my flowers down on that one, youngsters. Couple of things you said. First thing was you like actively engage them. A lot of times you have adults in the lives of these kids that just watch them. Like they watch them from a distance, don't have no conversation. Case in point, I was at a school today and I seen this young man, like, you know, like I speak to every kid that come through. I usually go down there around lunchtime, so just what's up, dap them up, and just kind of peep game, peep kids' faces. And there was a kid that sat down next to me. And usually when the kids sit down next to me, especially if they used to seeing me, they want to talk about something, but they don't know how to initiate it. And so I was like, yeah, what's up, man? Like, what's cracking, man? What you up to, man? When you graduate? Like, just asking questions. And that's a case in point. The way that you show respect is not by telling a kid what to do. It's by asking them about themselves. Like, what's on your mind? What are you thinking? How are you feeling? What's your goals?
Y'all hear that?
You know what I'm saying? So this is a tip. You know what I'm saying? If you want to connect with a young person, it's not about you telling them what to do. It's about you asking questions that'll be, that just get them thinking. You know what I'm saying? And so asking that kid about his future, he about to graduate. He trying to graduate early. And so he was like, he hadn't even thought about what he was going to do after school. I said, bro, you don't begin thinking about what you're going to do after graduation, buddy. We got to think before. And so, like, again, if I had not engaged him, that kid would have gone through lunch and gone on about his day with his mind not even thinking about his future.
Yes.
And it's coming up quick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like, just the fact that you engaged him is so, you know what I'm saying, it's so important just on some everyday stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's not because the kid got in trouble. Now we're going to talk.
Right.
But, yeah, go ahead.
I've been doing a lot of reverse psychology on that. One thing I want to note is that when I'm asking our youth, is this generation lost? I'm not just saying they're lost like they're gone and can't be saved. I'm saying they're lost in what this Mr. Ahmad just said. You're sitting there, you're thinking, you don't know what your next step is. That's a form of being lost. And if you're not guided to the right path, or at least open up your mouth to ask, and a lot of kids don't know how to ask. So today, that brings me around to some things that y'all can help the public with. Y'all can look at any signs y'all know to look for if a child is struggling with ways to communicate with you. If they're being abused, you can tell. I know y'all done been around where y'all see that stuff, and that's one of the reasons why I want you here, because excuse me, y'all. Some people are not intelligent enough to pick up those signs. They hush children, and that causes a child to be more lost. Because I know I would be lost if I came to you and you was like, I don't know, I'll figure it out. I'm being more lost. They said go to an adult. And I hate to say it, but you can't help a child if you're lost. Don't harm a child mentality even more if you know you ain't got your mental mind frame right together. Not saying that you got to be perfect, but I'm saying if they ask you something you don't know about, don't give them an answer you really shouldn't give them that you don't know about. Because if you don't know about it, how you going to give them the right answer? The best love that you can give is somebody like that, because I think everybody around children that maybe your homeboy's little kid, they say, hey, what's up, Uncle so-and-so, or whatever, that it's somebody, that little kid might come to you one day and you might never think that. Because they can't talk to their dad or something like that. And then they come to you and ask you something that they maybe should have been asking their dad. But if you're not mentally ready, don't answer it. Tell them to go to their dad. I'm just saying, because that's how a lot of more kids are getting even more lost. There are too many adults. And y'all raise your hand if y'all agree with me, because I'm seeing it. But there are too many adults that are professional teenagers. And that's all they can do is teach another child, like, oh, they think that's cool, because all they doing is sitting around, they on the bag of clothes, the jewelry, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. They're not actually showing the kids how they got it. So the child's mind is lost of thinking all the ways to get it in. And most times, if they see that person riding around listening to rap music, something like that, and I'm not a hater. But when a child is lost, they lost. Mentally, they don't know.
I think it's a couple things you hit on that I want to make some comments. One, about our youth being lost. I don't think our youth are lost. I think they need opportunity. Even in your example that you gave about the kids playing, and you gave them an opportunity to do something constructive. Because I talk a lot about positive alternatives. There's plenty negativity to get into. There's a lot of opportunities of negative things. I can go out here and sell drugs. I can go out here and smoke weed. I can go out here and have sex. I can go out here and fight. I know where to get all that stuff in any time of the day. But if I wanted to go out here and learn something, or if I wanted to go out here and make some money legally, how many opportunities do I have to do those things? How many times do I have somewhere that's a safe space that I'm not going to have to go in defensive because I might have to fight, or it might be some gang activity going on, or any of that stuff happening? You know, how many of those positive alternatives do we get? And then as far as, you know, teaching the kids and the person having, you know, themselves totally together, I don't think you have to be perfect. I think you have to be resourceful. And I think you hit it on the head when you said, me, I don't know too much about gardening, but Chaser Brigham does. So Mr. Davis couldn't teach you how to garden, but Mr. Davis is going to connect you with Chaser Brigham, who's going to take you to the garden, and now you're an award-winning garden expert. You taking college classes on composting, and now you'll be able to go teach other people. I may not know how to fish, but I got a friend that has a fishing organization, and he can teach you how to fish. My lane is, politics, right? So we got 2 kids that just hosted and moderated their own candidates forum for the mayoral race and the school board race, right? And as young kids in high school, right, being able to do a lot of things that adults couldn't do. Right. So I don't think they're lost. I think they just need opportunity.
That's real talk. That's real talk. And I feel like anybody who says that they're lost, honestly, how something get lost is usually the decision. Like, my keys didn't misplace themselves. Right. My wallet didn't misplace themselves. I did not manage them well. Right. Where I put them down. And a lot of the previous generation, a lot of times fails to manage and to serve the young people in their lives well, so that they can prepare them for the next stage of their life and how to move forward. So you can't say somebody's lost, especially in your household, if you have not made the investment. There's some people that have. Right. Like, there's some people that done went all in with their kids, and they done been above and beyond, nearly lost their homes trying to help their kids. I'm not talking to y'all. That's your kids have made a choice, and they will reap the results of that. I pray it's not their lives in the balance. I pray that they come to their senses before it's too late. But if they don't, and you know that you've done all you can, I want to encourage you to, to trust that you did the best you could, and you at that point in time, you got to leave in God's hands. But there are some parents and some adults who have care of children, the opportunity to interact with children, and they doing what maybe was done to them. This may be like 2 or 3 generations old, where you was just told to go play or to go. Well, now when you tell a kid to go play, they got a whole iPad. They got a whole digital world that they can go to and see all the butt nakedness and see all the fights and see all the, get exposed to all that. So it's different. And so conversation is important. It's for real. And just asking kids questions. Again, I want to go back to that. It's just like asking questions, because I won't know what a kid's interested in if I don't talk to them. Right. I can assume what they're interested in, but especially our black children, they're not a monolith. They're not just, I met some kids that are gifted at some of the craziest stuff that I never would have. No, one kid I ran into today at a school crochet some stuff. Made like about 6 different outfits. Man, outfits, roses. I'm like, bruh, you know what I'm saying? I was like, the little girl was like, where you learn how to do that at? And she's like, I was just doing it and just creating. Right. And it's like, man, so again, asking questions, conversation. If you don't talk to kids, how can you expect to connect with kids? You know what I'm saying?
I'll say that, Anosha, too. Something you hit on was perfect. We talked about it maybe a week or 2 ago, generational curses. And sometimes that stream from parent to parent, child to child, and keep on rolling. And that's a sad thing that we have to accept, because we know it's there. It happens whether we want it or not. The thing about it is that knowing it exists is knowing where to break it for your family. You know what I'm saying? You might can't break it for everybody's, but if you acknowledge it, that that at least it's a problem, then at least you can break yours. And even with that break may start of, okay, well, my mama didn't talk to me. My mom did, y'all, by the way. I ain't saying I'm using an example. But and a child be like, well, my mama didn't talk to me. I don't know how to talk to my child. You know what I'm saying? My mama talks so much to me, I have to be saying, oh, Lord, my daughter gonna get mad if I say it. I'm saying it anyway. You know what I'm saying? But it's just because I would rather her be informed. And I know later on down the line, she might be like, oh, Mom, no. Like, it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? But think about it. When she go hang out with her friends, she go, and her friends like, my mama didn't tell me. She go like, my mama told me. You know what I'm saying? So I've always been like that. And it's sad, though, because growing up, I noticed that a lot of people didn't have that in their lives. You know what I'm saying? They getting it, but they don't have it in their lives now. And so that was something for me to accept, because I had to learn that everybody didn't grow up like that. Everybody didn't have a parent that was in on them. Everybody didn't, you know what I'm saying? It was just different. So
that's real talk.
It's sad but true.
You got one of nurses. And I like to say, like opportunity, I went to a private school. I was one of the ones that was supposed to graduate and all this and that. They put me in a private school. You're right, you gotta have opportunity, because them public schools, whew. But the kids at the private school, they try to give me problems. I'm saying, yeah, I'm like, y'all got it going on compared to me, but
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But I had to show them that I'm been in the streets. I had to bring the streets to the private, even though I didn't want to do it. I told his mama, like, your son got it going on. Like, me and myself, my mama used to work at the schools and stuff, you know. You know, but
that's kind of hard too when your parent work at the school too.
I really told his mom on them too, like,
people pick on you.
Yeah, like, throw my books in the trash. I'm trying answering questions at the private, like, it was like, some, but yeah, though, you gotta have opportunity and stuff like that, and then like, but I never thought you really get that hands-on learning experience at a private school, like, and then I was the smartest one there too. That's when I really started being my friends, but you know, I didn't want to hang out with them and stuff like that because we come from. I was the mess up, as I would say, and I was on one strike, and they're gonna kick me out the private school or whatever. Yeah, you know what I mean. But
I survived.
I had my outfit. See, I got it runs in the family. One strike you out here, but I did have my hiccups, but I'll run this by me so good. They'd be like, one more chance, Primus. That was my grades was good though. That's like,
but you had the opportunity, and the good thing is you graduated.
Yeah, I graduated.
So whatever went on during them high school years, that's one of the ones
I did mature. I did mature up and listen to my mom. Said, "You don't do nothing else. Graduate, man. Just graduate."
You gotta have opportunity, but. And I'm gonna push back on one thing because I'm on the board of the public schools.
Okay.
And we have a lot of opportunities in Waco ISD. So you can get your welding degree, you can get your auto mechanic, you can become a chef, you can become a firefighter. We have all these academies in the public schools, but it's about taking advantage. Like you spoke of, sometimes we think we too hood. Or we think we too hard. It's gonna make me soft if I go and put
you ain't cool.
You ain't cool. So, and I think a lot of that is we don't talk about a lot of the time. We talk about culture a lot, but we don't talk about the toxic side of our culture.
Yeah, bro.
And you know, so a lot of times they like, man, all our kids y'all don't want to do nothing but be rappers and football players. But what do we glorify? What do we praise?
Yeah, straight up.
Because if I got a kid and he get on Facebook and he rapping and he got bars, everybody that heard it, everybody that liked it, he went live. It was 100 people on there. I got the same kid that wanted spoken word poetry. They got 5 likes. They got straight A's all year. Got on the dean's list. They got 2 shirts. And it's me and their mama. You know what I'm saying? So I think if you a kid, you don't know no better. So you just want that attention, you just want that praise. So I think we as adults, especially in our community, we have to take responsibility on ourselves because we shape the culture. We shape what's cool. We shape what the kids look up to. So I think it is opportunities, but we also have to create an environment where kids feel safe taking advantage of those opportunities.
You're absolutely right. I know he's been out of school for a long time. I don't even think he went to Waco public schools, but I am gonna say that I do remember. I've been in Waco for a while, so I do remember getting girls that came out of the cosmetology program that came to work for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you remember Jessica back in the day. She was one that was doing this program at the school and then came in. So the programs have been there. People just have to take advantage of them. You know what I'm saying? And you're absolutely right about that. Sometimes with the generational thing, like they might, like he said, seeing a homeboy that's cool, and they like it might be 4 or 5 of them. And then one of them like, man, y'all, let's go try our home ec. We can cook up this, that, and this. I don't care what they can be thinking about cooking up some wrong stuff. But they got them in the classroom. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it takes that weird reverse psychology, but in fact, dude on the couch is right. A lot of times it's because a group of people are hanging around and what's not cool to you or you might be cool to you, and then it's because y'all like, nah, we gonna do it. And then it say if it's 5 of them, 2 of them walk off. Other 2 look at each other, and then everybody just thinks, man, I'm just gonna go. We see that in movies all the time. That's that monkey see, monkey do.
Gotta create independent thinkers, because I feel like once you become an adult, you can't live your life based on everybody else. So why wouldn't we teach that from a young age?
Nah, straight up, bro.
The sooner they can be an independent thinker and do things that benefit them and they enjoy, it don't matter if none of y'all like it. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. You know, I'm going to do what's going to benefit me. And we don't have to wait till they're 18, 19, 20 to teach them that. When they 5 and 6, we started there. And I think, you know, we talked about advice. If I could give any advice to parents, is it start day 1. As soon as they start talking, as soon as they, because I see kids you know, small kids, and they know all Sexy Red can't read.
See,
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not knocking that. Don't get me wrong. You know, I got my playlist and I listen to that. But
he got his ratchet side.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody,
real talk.
Because, you know, because I love culture, but like I said, I think we have to also acknowledge some of the sides that are toxic.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think as long as we teach our kids, this is a part of our culture that's just entertainment.
Right.
But this is the things that are important, and start teaching them that from a younger age. I think we'll be better, and not letting them get to a certain age and start letting them make their own decisions.
Right.
That's real talk.
See, one of the main things I was gonna say is that we're supposed to help them make better decisions. Like artists like Sexy Red are not supposed to raise our kids.
No.
But Sexy Red, you did say you was gonna make songs for kids, so we're gonna hold you to that. Y'all remember that when that teacher went viral? She said she's gonna make some songs. So make some ratchet songs for the little ratchet neighborhood kids.
I like her music.
I mean, it's alright if that's what you want to hear. I don't knock nobody's stuff. But it is not Sexy Red's job to raise your child. Your child should know from you to just listen to Sexy Red. But that ain't what that is. It's just music, baby. It's just entertainment. If you can't teach your child that, that's your fault.
And that's the thing. We just living in an environment, and you can't, and it's no going back. You know what I'm saying? Because I had so many like parents and you know, people struggling with their kids, and they be like, man, it's just the technology. I'm just like, hey, look, you gotta accept the fact that technology ain't going nowhere. That kids are exposed to a lot of stuff real quick, and it don't even have to be in your house. You could not have the internet, but they gonna go around somebody that got something on their phone. And so, like, even case in point, you know what I'm saying? My son, you know, man, God's so good, though. You know what I'm saying? My son, I'm in there washing dishes. I got my AirPods on. I'm chilling, listening to a joint. Well, my AirPods catch his iPad in the other room. And I hear, I'm a comment. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing some wildness on there. But I'm like, what the? I come up in the door. I'm like, what you? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, now we got to have a conversation. I ain't even pissed off.
How old is he?
That was when he was, man, he was 11. That was 11. Yeah, but I'm saying they're having the conversations early. I just did a training on peer-to-peer sexual abuse, and it's starting as early as 4 and 5 years old. You know what I'm saying? So like again, when you get so that's the thing. Like, you know, you listen to what you listen to as an adult.
Right.
But there's certain things like we got to be mindful about what. And then so I asked my son, hey, where you get that from? Where you hear about that? Man, they was talking about it in the locker room. I just got in. That was when he first got into pre-athletics. And so like, and that's having locker room talk.
Right.
And he was like, they talking like. So I went online, started looking for stuff. And
and
so then I began to ask questions.
Right.
What did you see? So then, okay, you don't know how to answer the question. Did you see girls and girls together? Yes. Did you see girls and guys together? Yes. Did you see guys and guys together? Yes. Did you see girls and animals together? Okay, so now I know. So I asked the question. Ask the questions because I want to know how much have you seen?
Yeah. Right.
Without you feeling threatened, like I can't talk to my dad.
Yeah.
And so we began to meet after school every day. I would go and pick him up. I try to, you know, talk to, you know what I'm saying, my people at Memphis. Hey, I'm going to get off early, go get my son, I'll be back. Because afterwards, I would pick him up, and I'd be like, hey, man, any butt naked booty blessing talking in the locker room today? What y'all talked about? Because what he had heard was that you could get a girl pregnant by coming in her mouth. He had heard that. So he's like... But I wouldn't know that. But I wouldn't know that if I didn't have a conversation. And ask him the questions, and we did that every day for months on months till he finally said, nah, they ain't even talking about that stuff no more, Dad. Like, it's like we beyond that. Okay, cool, bet. So and so again, we back to it, you know, just how you ask questions. My wife's question to him was, do you have a girlfriend? And he like, I was like, well, let me ask you this, son, have you started noticing girls yet? What do you mean, Dad? Have you noticed that they smell different? They skin a little softer when you touch it.
If he didn't notice, you made him notice.
No, but he said that. He was like, yeah, I have. So how you ask the question to a kid is just as important as what you ask. Because you can ask a question and get an answer that ain't a real answer. And so you got to explore that as a parent, as a caregiver, as a guardian, because it's those types of conversations those conversations were had from the drive from the school pickup to our house. Cut the radio off, iPad, podcast, whatever you listen to, cut that off, And during that time, talk to your kid. On the way to school, talk to your kid. You know what I'm saying?
Everything.
Or maybe make a dope playlist. Maybe it's some positive music you want your kid listening to. So let's play that on the playlist on the way in, and it's getting them crunk or whatever. It's some good positive music that bang, that go hard, that's just as dope. You know what I'm saying, that you can listen to as well for your kids' sake, you know.
Christian music on,
Yeah,
move up.
yeah,
You know what
Christian
I'm
hip hop in the building.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a lot, a
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
lot.
yeah.
Man, you got to come back and share something with
Yeah,
us on
yeah,
that
yeah,
2.10.
yeah,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
what's
Get you
up.
on the
Yeah.
mic, okay?
Yeah, yeah, I'm down.
Y'all heard him.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
gonna get him back.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
they make
yeah.
me a promise, I hunt them down.
Yeah.
But I can relate to that because it's just like me, the household that I was in. You know, I had an
Yeah.
educated mom, musician for a dad,
Yeah.
and it was like I went to private school.
Yeah.
But you know, I had friends in the neighborhood. Hey, we go to Wiley Club.
Yeah.
So me, Mama, hey, can you take me out? Put me over there. Call Mama. Say, well,
Yeah.
because she taught WISD too. So it's like, all right, put you in there.
You want your child to be happy.
Put me in there. So I'm like, what's up?
Oh, you thought you was a sub then.
I learned how to sell nail labels for 25 cents.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So, that was out of my, but you know what I'm saying? The come up. But
Yeah.
but it was like, well, she would ask like you guys. She would like, hey, what you do today? Hey, Miss Johnson did this. So it was like, okay, it's school. Okay.
Yeah.
So when I came home, Mom, girl, let me tell you. So and so, whatever she got. 9 kids. Mama say, well, oh no, baby, come on, we finna come on back to private school. Come on there. And I was like,
Much better.
just because of I
You didn't know.
that wasn't on my mind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was a ball player and I played music.
Yeah.
And like I said, ever since I was two years old, I was playing piano. You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
But you know what, you're right. When I was younger, my mom didn't want me to hang around a friend. I had a friend in Ohio named Roxanne, and she was like 15.
Roxanne.
Yeah, she was so pretty, and she had a little baby, and baby was so cute, and but she was my friend, and like during them times, it was kind of like not to be friends with her. She got a kid. That means she been goosing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think the word in Ohio, because I'm from Ohio. I've been down here a while, so now I'm goosing is the word. But in Ohio, I think we was call it hunching. They been hunching. Yeah, we've been hunching and
They don't
stuff.
say that no more. They call them dots.
I don't know what that is. But I remember that, and
Thirsty.
and she was still struggling through school and stuff.
Yeah,
Of course, as her friend, she told me her story.
Yeah.
But she didn't encourage me to do anything bad. So that's one in a million. You find a friend that's like, don't do what I did. Or, you know what I'm saying, do another route. So I did have that. Thank you, Roxanne, even though I still ended up getting pregnant.
No,
young.
that's real talk. That's real talk. Yeah.
But I remember what she told me. You know what I'm saying? She was in school, so she was like, keep going. And then it was the people around, like you say, oh, you ain't going to end up now, you're going to be another statistic. So I made sure I wasn't a statistic.
No, that's it.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
it.
I don't even know how to say the word right.
That's all right.
Statistic.
Y'all know what she meant.
I ain't that.
Y'all
You know what I'm
she meant.
saying?
Yeah.
So I just made sure of that because I messed up a lot
Mm.
trying to hang with the crowd. I was in college at 12. I was a young genius. One day I'm gonna bring my little thing from Ohio State. I'm gonna show y'all because we like to show receipts.
Yeah,
Receipts.
But they don't. You know what I'm saying? And it was just weird because growing up like that,
I'm like, what?
a lot of stuff I seen that people was doing, I was like, oh,
Keep me out.
just like you was. That's why I laugh when you say you was asking your son this, that, this. I know after that, boy, them conversations got real. So dad, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta be careful with your ass.
Yeah. And it carried on. Like, so he started to ask me, Dad, when was you exposed to?
Right.
So now, that's why you got to deal with your own mess, right? For real. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like when we talk about generational curses, just to go back to that, I grew up in a house, you know what I'm saying, where my mom was abused by my father.
Okay.
And so I grew up seeing that, hearing the fights. It got to a point when I was like 9 years old that he got so angry at her. I was sleeping in a bed. He hit her, but she was so used to getting hit. She hit the ground and just got up and looked at him. He was so angry. He went to the kitchen, got a butcher knife. I'm still in the bed, like acting like I'm sleeping in a bed. And he raised it to her like he was finna stab her. I thought he was gonna stab her, and she didn't do nothing. She just looked at him like she was ready to die. She was on some B.I.G. like ready to die. And he put it down and he threw it at the bed where it landed in the pillow by my face. And so my mama, she went on autopilot for like, it was about 3 or 4 days. My dad worked construction in Houston. I'm from H-Town originally. And so he was working in Houston in construction, where he had a hard day during the weekend, was tired. I was asleep at night. He was still asleep. I woke up, you know what I'm saying, my mom was beating him with a Louisville Slugger bag to get him out the house because she told me later on, she said, when I saw him almost kill you at that point in time, I was like, I don't care what it takes, I got to get him out the house. And I didn't see that man again until I was a freshman in college at Baylor University, where I played football at. And so, like, you know, but it was just her efforts. And what it was, she didn't know it. You know what I'm saying? My uncle's more spiritual. He's a pastor, so he began to talk to me about generational curses.
Okay.
And I remember we prayed on the couch. I was in middle school. He was like, get down here. We both on our knees on the couch. And he was leading me through a prayer against the generational curse. And from that point on, like, my mind began to shift in terms of like, okay, I don't know what kind of man I want to be, but I do know the type of man I don't want to be.
Right.
So even before, so I knew I don't want to be this type of husband that beat on his wife. I don't want to be this type of dad that make his kids scared of him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I started just moving in a different direction. And so some of it just begins with you may not have a vision for what you want your life to look like beyond that generational curse, but you may have a vision of what you don't want it to look like. So my deal is go in the opposite direction of what you don't want, and you're gonna run into what God has for you and who He wants you to be.
Did you have siblings in the house?
Yeah, I had my older sibling. She got married early. She's 10 years older than me.
Okay.
And so she got married, and she wound up getting into her first marriage was an abusive relationship.
Oh, God.
You know what I'm saying? And so I remember being in a car chase with her, him chasing her, like he had a gun to her head when I went to her. I'm still freaking, I'm traumatized from the middle school with my daddy, and then I'm in like high school, and I'm going to visit them at their house, and she come downstairs, gun to her head.
Ooh,
and I don't know what kind of words God gave, but I started talking, and I convinced that cat to go upstairs, and he left my sister down there with me. We ran out the house, got in her car, and I'm driving. I don't even have a license. It just drove to my house. I knew my mama had burglar bars. We got in there and locked the burglar bars and called the laws. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, it's that kind of, so experiencing all that, and to be somebody who is married to the same woman I got married to from college, bro, 2 kids, it's me and her babies, you know what I'm saying? Like, dog, that's what's up.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so, change that generation. So now my son sees different.
Yes.
My daughter sees different. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, so I don't care what's going on before you. It's a fact of making a choice.
And believe it or not, even though your sister was 10 years older than you,
Yeah.
she looked back and saw her little brother have a different life
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well,
yeah,
too.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that should have told her, damn, I could have something
It
different.
did shift it, and she found
She
the man of her dream. Like, bro,
Amen.
and they
Praise
still married,
the
like
Lord.
little boy,
Yeah,
and you
she
know what I'm
went
saying?
through
Like
that.
she, that's what's up. So it's even if you've been through that, you can bounce back, you can recover. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, sometimes the example is not in doing it perfect. Sometimes the example is keep moving forward.
That's
You know what
right.
I'm saying?
You can bounce back from
Yeah.
anything. The
Yeah.
thing about this is that you got to give yourself that momentum
Yeah.
to make the bounce.
Yeah.
Just so that pull back and all like that.
Yeah,
Make you
yeah,
say,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
yeah, no. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, real talk.
All right, Mr. Jeremy, you've been over there quiet.
Yeah, no, I'm listening. You know, I think it's important going back to what we talking about, safe spaces, like how he created for his son, because you don't want to bag kids into a corner to where they'll never speak to you
Right,
about what's really going on.
Right.
And when I say safe space, I don't mean don't hold him accountable.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
straight
It's
up,
like,
straight up. Real talk.
because the kids that I work with, they know Mr. Davis will body slam you. And you acting up, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time,
Oh, my
they
God.
know whether it's 2 p.m. or 2:30 a.m., you can call me, and I'm
Right.
going to
Yeah,
be
straight
there,
up.
and
Big
I'm
facts.
not going to belittle you. I'm not going to just randomly attack you,
Yeah.
but I'm going to see what's going on, and I'm going to give you sound advice.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's touched on his own kids, and I got a 3rd grader. I definitely think you got to be there for your own kids, but I also think each one of us needs to start taking responsibility for kids in our neighborhoods as well.
Yeah, straight up.
Right, because
Straight up.
it's
They're watching.
They need somebody too, and just because they're not biologically yours,
Yeah.
don't mean you can't be that person that breaks that generation.
Yeah, straight up. Real talk.
Right.
You can teach them, you can pour into them, you can take them under your wing, and I think it's too many of us, like you said earlier, that just watch. We don't say anything. Like, you know, man, that kid ain't got no business out there. He been selling drugs, he in middle school. But when you gonna go say something to him?
Yeah.
Going back to the question, are they... But it's all about building relationships.
Relationship.
Now, I
bro.
ain't
Right.
telling nobody to go out here on the corner. You ain't never seen this kid and go out there and cut
Try to check him up. Nah,
You
bro.
might
Don't
get
do that.
You might get popped.
but I'm saying if you go
Cheat
and
check.
you go build a relationship, like he said, really get to know what their hopes is, know why you out here selling drugs,
Yeah.
Right.
No, showing you another route, and then not just get them lip service.
Yeah.
Like I got several kids that I didn't help get out of their life, but I didn't just say, hey, you know, the Bible says. You know,
Yeah, they were like,
I didn't do that.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't get high and mighty.
What got the
right?
preacher boy
But
say?
you know, I didn't come at them like that, but I gave
got the
them
preacher
a
voice.
different route.
Yeah,
Right.
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Real
So
talk,
I said,
real
hey,
talk.
how much you making doing this?
right.
Cool. Well, I found you a job over here. You gonna make that same amount of money, and you don't have to look over your shoulder.
Right.
Cool. Where you need a ride over there, I'm gonna come get you. So I'm not just gonna talk. I think that's a lot of our problems. A lot of us want to talk.
Oh,
Yes.
So we got good things to say. We got words that rhyme, little quotes, everything like that. But we not really putting any boots to the ground with it. And I feel like this generation of kids, they see through it. There's
Right.
too many people that
They
just
like,
talk at them and they don't
Yeah.
really see any action.
Yeah, no,
So
for
I
sure.
think it's about creating safe spaces, building relationships, and actually doing work with them.
yeah, absolutely right. Because I was going to say that earlier is that for a child that a person would consider lost, he cannot be led the right way with somebody else that is lost.
Yeah.
Like we say, like going from person to person, you got to have your stuff together. And like I say, back to what you were saying, like people just like to talk. I've seen people not only just observe, but instead of pointing them in the right direction, they want to be the one to say that they said something. You know what I'm saying? They want to be the one, so then they'll say something and guide you in the wrong direction. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen that a lot too.
Wow.
So it's like you just have to be careful because even with kids, I think a lot of them are lost sometimes because they get too much advice from too many different people.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what causes confusion or a thing to be lost. Now, some you said earlier, when you talked about the parents that try to help their kids and do what all they can, almost lose their houses, lose jobs, lose stuff like that. I've been saying that from day one of the show. That some people are just dumb. You know what I'm saying? They got mad at me for saying it, the word.
Yeah.
But I'm like, what do you call somebody? You can't call them lost.
Yeah.
Somebody that, you know, that you done lost almost everything. Well, I can speak on it in general because I have a daughter that's in prison
that's
now.
real talk.
She's facing 9 years.
straight up.
But I don't even want to go in detail how much I lost.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And at one point I did, and when they telling you, like, Mom, you right, I listen, it was just the drugs or just my friends, I just wanted, that's a dumb moment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I hate to call it like that, but I'm like, you just gonna keep doing this same thing. I don't want to keep hitting the reset button with you.
Yeah, real talk.
But I think it's another D word that we missing in the conversation. That's discernment.
Yes.
If you don't teach the kids how to discern, because it's not always that you got to be perfect to give advice. The kids in my program, we volunteer twice a month, and one of the ones we do is we feed our less fortunate community.
Okay.
Whereas a lot of people say homeless, I like to just say less fortunate.
Yeah.
But and some of those people have dropped so many gems on our kids that when I'm telling you, we might all be saying similar things. And this homie, he on drugs. Tweet that. But he done had a whole gems. And then it opened up their whole world or something new. So I don't think you gotta be perfect, but I think the kids have to have discernment. And when you teach them how to take, you can listen to anybody talk.
Right.
But you got to understand what you can take from them, what parts of that conversation will benefit your life, and what parts of it you need to let go in the right ear and out the left one.
Yeah.
Right.
And when you teach them that discernment, it don't matter what somebody say to them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They'll know what to take in and what not to take in. So I think a lot of those dumb moments happen when we can't discern.
Right. And you know what? That's the whole point of it is. Mama used to say, what's that? Well, Mama used to say, like nobody take heed to what Mama used to say, because in reality, we always tell. Either our mama done said it, that Grandma got some quotes saying, Big Brother got some quotes saying, Big Cousin. People just don't listen to it. So what you just said is like key point. Most of these children need to be taught discernment. But when I go back to saying, Mama used to say, you know, Mama don't believe everything you hear and see. That's part of learning discernment. But kids don't think about it because a lot of them, they like, I don't want to listen to what Mama had to say anyway. When they being defiant, that's when the word done comes in.
Sexy Red, maybe you can remix Mama used to say and put some positive stuff in there. You know what I'm saying?
Don't get Drake to remix it up. But I think that is key. that couldn't have been put more perfectly. That
For real.
we need to teach them discernment. Because I was like, what we need to teach them? That was, you know what? That was about to be my question. You already answered. I told y'all I ain't had no questions for the show because they was gonna come along.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Go ahead,
But
y'all.
I can agree. Look,
Yeah.
no, but it's just like you said, love JB to death, and she didn't took me in like a little sister. It's like you look at everybody, it's like you think that everybody go through the same thing because of color and everybody's going through race and all this.
Yeah.
But it's like it's in every household.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like you were saying about discernment. My mom be like, you follow her if you want to. I ain't selling nothing. I ain't going to pawn nothing. So if you're in trouble, it's on you. But I'm like,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna never do this.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
it was pretty good. But
Yeah.
I did dumb stuff after, in the 30s. So, it's like everything caught up. But,
Yeah, sure.
you thought you was that little slick one.
Yeah.
I never got caught, never got caught.
But I think we're
But,
human.
Yeah, but I'm just
For sure,
saying it's just
for sure.
another thing. Nobody's perfect.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
I think we're human, and every last person in this room,
Yeah.
in this building, can tell us a moment. I did this and I was dumb.
Yeah.
We all have it. It just depends on, do you make dumb decisions that affect your life entirely?
Yeah.
And that's when I start saying, people like, damn, that's just dumb. You did that, and that caused all this to just go like that. When you could have did this and maybe just came down a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but some
sure.
people just go all in like they don't
Yeah,
care.
it's different. It's different costs for the dumbness.
So
There you go.
Or not knowing.
Yeah.
Because I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna make some mistakes,
yeah,
y'all.
just out of
Making
ignorance.
mistakes, that's
So
my
that's
problem.
ignorance and
I ain't gonna
dumb
lie.
choices.
Like being in the
Sometimes,
stock market.
oh no, you good, bro. Sometimes a dumb decision, ignorance and dumbness, those are things that we need to take into consideration. But sometimes a dumb decision can just affect you for a moment.
Right.
But then sometimes a dumb decision can affect the next 5, 10, 20, or forever years of your life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And those are the
And
ones
so
you
like
wanna avoid.
those are, my goal is to help my kids, help them prevent making those decisions that are going to cost them 5, 10, 20, or forever, the rest of their life. And so, sometimes it's being willing to admit as an adult, like sometimes my daughter or my kids will ask me something, I'll be like, I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. But I'm going to go try to find out, or I may know somebody that knows something. And so, like, we don't have to have all the answers. It's just, like, I think being honest, being authentic, you do kind of got to, be able to identify, like, have a feel for your kid as far as what to share and what not to share. That's where asking questions comes in at. And so, like, I just think that's part of it, just being honest, man. Like, it's okay that you, and then also let your kid accept the fact that your kid don't know everything.
Right.
Sometimes I see some adults, they move with kids like the kids should know this.
I'm glad to get
I'm
up.
like,
This is all I knew. Now
you know
you
what
got
I'm
some
saying? And it just trips me out. I'm like, like, how you gonna assume they know that? Like, when did you learn that? You like 19, they 11, 12. You know what I'm saying? And so some of the stuff, sometimes I think the expectations that we have about what our kids should know and don't know, got to shift too.
That's just the part of the ignorance in it, because that's like, how like I've seen it and it's sad. I've seen people and I'm like, you ain't gonna tell them. They like, well, they gotta find out one way or another. Experience is the best teacher. Now I've seen a lot of people in my salon do that, and I'm like, you ain't just gonna tell them don't do that. They gonna run into a brick wall.
Yeah.
And then again, just go back to the generation curse. Some of them don't know better.
Some of them don't know better.
Some of them don't know better.
Some
Like,
just
she
hard-headed.
look wrong, she doing
Some
this, she
just
doing
hard-headed.
that. Yeah, and some of them hard-headed.
But you gotta teach people how to make decisions, though.
Yeah,
like,
you do.
We were talking about our upbringing. I grew up in a 2-parent household. Both of my parents are pastors. My dad passed away in 2015. I was 19, and I remember I remember feeling like that was the worst time ever.
Yeah.
Because I was like, right when all the big decisions in my life was about to be made, the one person I wanted to go ask all the questions to was gone. And I remember almost being depressed at that point. But then something that helped me bounce back is he taught me how to make decisions.
Right.
So not that I had him to go to so he can make the decision for me, but he equipped me with the power to make my own sound judgment, going back to that discernment and understanding how to use my discernment to make decisions. And that's how you end up not making those mistakes that had you with a lifelong consequence. Because you will understand. So even if I might do something dumb, I'm not doing something extremely dumb.
Right.
Because I understood how to be cautious.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So I might have got drunk and fell asleep on my friend's couch, but I didn't get drunk and get in the
drive
car and kill somebody.
Right.
Or I might have got mad and I want to fight somebody, but I didn't go get that pistol from under Big Daddy couch or wherever and go do something stupid because I understood my decision making and how that was going to affect my life. And I don't think we can't wait to adulthood to start teaching it. I think the earlier we can start teaching decision making, the better, because then by the time they become adults, they'll be experts at it. You know, everything that we teach kids, we teach them how to read as soon as we can. Say that we teach them how to talk, we teach them how to walk. We need to teach them how to make decisions so they can be experts when they go into adulthood as well. And especially with the age of social media.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? Because they might not be able to bounce back from some of these mistakes we talk about that they're making at a young age. So we need that discernment and that decision making to start kicking in at an earlier age, because they might not have the same opportunities that we had to be young, dumb, doing crazy things. That if people had a camera and they was live and you could go watch it over and over again, a whole bunch of us.
I'm trying to tell you.
So I think you know, the sooner we can kind of get them on that decision making, the better off they'll be, and that the more independent they'll be. And when they're independent, it don't matter what their friends say. It don't matter if they big brother doing wrong. Even sometimes if your mama doing wrong. Because let's talk about, we talking about mamas. See, some of our mamas is lost. If we saying the kids is lost, some of our dads is lost. You know, that's why I said when you see kids in your neighborhood or in your city, your community, wherever you at, and you can teach them something. You don't have to be perfect, but if you know how to do one thing good, teach them that one thing.
That's straight up.
Right? Teach them that one thing.
Amen. You know, I'm proud because you was a PK.
You
was a good one.
I ain't sound perfect.
No, that's why I said you was a good one. You didn't go all the way sour, because a lot of PKs growing up in my day and age, y'all remember, I know you had some friends. They just wanted to do completely the opposite because their parents were passing. And it's like, why did they? That's what I say, being dumb. They just went out their way to embarrass their parents. They knew that was embarrassing to
But I
them.
think it goes back to culture thing. Because I remember growing up, I grew up in East Waco on CD, and I remember like having the desire to be a gangster. I remember, you couldn't tell me I wasn't hard. But anybody say my name, I'm a fight, I'm going whatever you say, and it was, and I felt so much pressure. And looking back on it, I said I was done. Right? I wasn't making wise decisions, but I do think our culture plays into that, because the things that I was doing, like I'm singing, I'm praise dancing, I'm doing all of these extracurriculars that they looking like, what? You lame. Jeremy Lane, y'all see him here singing? They got him doing a speech. Y'all see him in that suit? You know what I'm saying? And those things weren't cool, so the girls didn't like it. Let's talk about the real, because we don't want to talk about those things when we talk about our culture. The girls don't like the boys that's getting good grades.
They sure don't.
And not sagging and might not have all the brand. That's not who glorify. The women not coming around saying, oh, he's so cute, to the boy in the bow tie. They the one with the fade and the earring and the gold. That's who they, he gonna be so fine when he grows up. I want to be fine too, so I want to be, I want to, you get what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, I think our culture is sometimes it creates the space for our kids to desire to go towards negativity. And I think as adults, we have to be better stewards of our community. And we got to watch what come out our mouths. We got to watch how we treat different kids. We got to watch what we glorify on social media. Not what they're doing, what we're doing. Because everything that they're doing, they learn. Nothing different in the kids. We change. The adults change. That's why the kids are different.
That's why I said if you're lost, your children are gonna be lost. Any child that you touch and try to nurture or put knowledge in is gonna be lost because you're not feeding them the right knowledge. Now, hopefully, as parents, that you embed discernment in your child so they know things, and even if they leave, you know, a parent has to leave a child's present, that we remember, like Lion King, like you did with your dad. Mufasa was like,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's all we want to put on these kids is to remember. You know what I'm saying? Because when he said it, that's the same thing I thought. Because he was like, I'm lost, I need my dad. And y'all remember that part in the movie. Because now talking to kids, you got to get on their level and try to tell them something where they can relate to. So mentally, I'm still there playing with the kids in their neighborhood. But when you said it, I got to thinking, that's what it made me remember is when Simba sat there and he was like, I don't know what to do. And then that cloud does his dad just say, remember. And it brought him back what he know, and that brought him back. And so with you were saying you was lost at the time, like, my dad gone, I'm supposed to do it. But you remembered what your dad taught you.
And that's why I mentor and I get boots on the ground so aggressively in our city. Because I'm like, I was blessed, you know, to have that structure, to have somebody teaching me discernment, somebody having to teach me how to make decisions. Even when I wanted to go this way, I still had that knowledge that kept me on the right path. And I'm thinking, like, what about the kids that never had the dad?
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, what's, and I don't think it, and I think it's an idea of if you don't have a dad in your household, then you're doomed. Or you're destined for certain things, and I think that's a generational curse that we need to break as well. It's telling our kids, he ain't got no daddy in the home. You know, your mama can teach you things. Your grandma can teach you things. It's all about the decisions that you make. I know some successful friends that had crackheads as mama and daddy, successful. I know some that just had their mama successful, and I know some that had mama and daddy in the pen right now. So it's all about what you're teaching the kid. It's all about the opportunities that you're giving them, and it's about teaching them how to make wise decisions.
Amen. Because for me, I wasn't in a two-parent home my entire life. My parents split, I think, when I was in kindergarten. But I learned stuff from both of them. You know what I'm saying? Good and bad. Like, I didn't see my dad like physically abuse my mom, but I seen him mentally abuse her. I seen that. I seen him bring other women into the house and go, and mom be in the bedroom chilling, and he's sitting out there, and I'm running back and forth because as a kid, you don't know. You getting candy, this lady being nice to you, just another person, and at your house. You know what I'm saying? So I did learn that, and I can say that once I knew exactly what was going on later in life, my mom talked about it. Thank you, mommy, for talking to me. Then I could never be that woman. But she made us understand that a lot of things that some parents went through that mentally disrupted them, that caused the generation curse to carry on, is like I say, some stuff came from the older generation. Because y'all got to think, back in the day, marriages were arranged. You had to stay with people, stuff like that. A lot of people stayed because they didn't work and the man took care of everything, so they couldn't leave. And I think that was kind of part of my mom's thing. You know what I'm saying? But my mom was educating herself, going to college and stuff. She just hadn't landed a job yet. So then she was loaded up after a while. But that taught me, that taught me a lot in life as far as okay, I don't want to do that. I don't want to experience that. Sometimes I thought, I don't never think it made me too much of a strong woman. Because I feel like no matter what time it is, I don't care if I got to try over and over and over again, I'm not going to live unhappy. You know what I'm saying? Mentally or physical abuse, that's a no-go.
Refuse to lie to yourself.
And don't lie to yourself, because after a while you're just putting on a facade. And who wants to live in a world of a facade? I don't know. It's a simulation. Well, who got a simulation? They got the person beat him. You know what I'm saying? Or lie to him. It's just crazy because in today's world, a lot could happen. You know what I'm saying? You could be fed a lot of unfortunate information that can take place from getting bad information. I said that wrong. A lot of misfortunate things can happen because you're getting bad information. So just remember to keep discernment, keep God in your life, stay connected and deeply rooted at all times. Yes. And keep doing something for the youth whenever you can. Get a chance. And we are signing out for Deeply Rooted today.
Deeply rooted. 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 Deeply rooted.